Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina and our international guests in their virtual studios today. Tina, how are you doing?
We're doing fabulous here in our studio. Welcome Annie Gibbins and Don Bates. Don is coming from Buenos Aires. Are you still in Buenos Aires?
I'm still there at the moment, yes.
Still there
At the moment.
At the moment.
You mean there's relief in sight?
Tonight I might be somewhere else.
Okay. All right.
I'm not telling because everyone will start going on the move.
And then Annie, where are you coming from?
I'm in Sydney, Australia.
Wow, we do have an international day today. I love it.
Well, for the first time, Tina, for the first time this week, right? Or the third time this week. This week, Tina and I are in the same time zone. We're both on the Eastern time zone. I drove over the weekend from Colorado to Florida, I went through 10 states. This is a big country to get here.
This is a big country we have here.
It took 30 hours in the car of driving from Colorado to Orlando, but my daughter's brakes went out in her car. It was going to cost more to fix it than the car is really worth. So we found her a used car in Colorado and spent the weekend driving it to Orlando. So I'm in my daughter's bedroom. We're in Orlando, Florida, and we'll be here.
That's a great mom story. And, and I know Jay I know because you guys, we talk all the time, but on Friday, Jay went out and try to look and research for her a car. He found her a car. And then you guys, you know what? Let's just drive it to her. I mean,
it wasn't quite a mom moment. My son and I were rock, paper, scissoring who had to go with dad. I did want to come, but it's like, who wants to spend two days sitting in the car driving?
However, it worked out to your benefit because you had like this epiphany listening to all these podcasts, and you guys are going to hear some new things that are coming out in the next couple of weeks, the next couple of days even, that Angel has over those 2 days, she just listened and listened and listened. She's like, and Tina, and we can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this, and this is what I learned, and this is what I learned, and this is what I learned. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
It was.
What are you listening to?
I've had like 4 different voices in podcasts. I was in my head getting ready, of course, for the Media Mastery Bootcamp, elevating our brands, scaling businesses, automating, leveraging the power of our stories.
Comma Club.
I know. I started singing a song, because we're talking about building $1 million brands, and $1 million has 2 commas, and so I was like, comma, a million, like the George song, George song, and so I was singing it, the comma, a million club. So. But apparently
that's not what he says, comma.
No, it's karma.
Yeah, that's what I thought he said.
In my world,
what does he say? Karma,
comma, a million, and so my comma, a million club, and it apparently is taken. So, because I thought it was brilliant, comma, a million. Anyways, I'm super excited to have you ladies here because of the project that you have completed. And your fabulous story, your journey of how you guys met and came together and what you guys are both doing now. So even though they are continents apart, these 2 gals are a powerhouse team working together. Which one of you wants to kind of start and say how you guys met and where this all began?
Annie comes first in the alphabet, so I'll let Annie go first.
Okay, well, it's amazing because Dawn and I have actually never met physically, although we feel like total sisters. So we've got this amazing global connection over a very short period of time. I found Dawn on LinkedIn. I was looking for people for my podcast, which is called Memoirs of Successful Women. And so I was reaching out through some business chick type pods and communities, and I found someone who knew Dawn, and it was just this sort of mix of, oh, okay, well, she sounds amazing. But the first few times that we sort of text each other, all we did was send hilarious voice messages to each other laughing. And we're like, I don't even, it was just
that
really weird.
That doesn't sound like Dawn at all.
laughing and laughing, going, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. We couldn't quite get the message out. And then somewhere in that, I had been pondering the idea of writing a biography or my story and trying to work out, oh, imagine doing that. Oh, that would be really brave. How would that work? And then meeting Dawn, who is an international best-selling author. And she's like going, oh my gosh, like we should make this happen. And so, yeah, suddenly it was COVID and it was an opportunity to go, oh, let's do something crazy and make the most of this extra time, not traveling to work and doing the norm, and turn it into a good opportunity. And so suddenly Miss Amazing Dawn Bates just smashed out this biography of mine, Becoming Annie.
See, I still haven't touched that book. I still haven't,
the biography of a curious woman, because I am very curious, and so we've gone from meeting each other online earlier this year to spending 4 months just delving into my life and just laughing a lot, and turning it into a book, and now it's suddenly selling globally, and it's been quite the ride. So
oh my gosh, how exciting. So you still haven't even seen the book in person, Dawn?
No.
I'll have to post one to your boat. Thank you somewhere. Yes.
Well, it took me a year before I actually got my hands on Crossing the Line. When I published that, because the thing is, like, because when you're like sailing around the world, it's like you're in the marina for a certain amount of time. You don't know when you're going to be there.
Our listeners, Dawn, right now,
sorry,
are all sailing around the world right now. So she's like, when you're sailing around the world.
No, we don't know.
We don't know, Dawn. No, we do not know that when we're sailing around the world, this happens.
That's right.
Okay, so maybe you don't know, but when you do, you end up in a marina for maybe, like, you don't know when you're going to arrive. You have a kind of date, but it might be a day or two before or after, depending on whether you have to avoid a storm or not and get emergency dental treatment. That's a different story for a different day. And then, like, you're there, but you're probably only reprovisioning before you're onto the next, and you're onto the next marina. And then you've got to obviously deliver the books to wherever you are. So I send them to my boys, and then my boys are my book mules, and my boys, most of their luggage is stuff for me. We'll just go shopping for your stuff when you get here. It's all good. Don't bring any clothes, just bring my books.
Just bring my stuff. Just bring what I need.
Bring my stuff.
So Dawn, you responded to a LinkedIn, like she was looking for guests, and you responded to, hey, I'll be a guest on your podcast.
Absolutely.
And I love that you took action and responded. So being a guest on other people's platforms can turn into some amazing.
Social media is a powerful thing, right? If you start building that relationship and just asking, hey, would you like to be on my podcast? Oh, hey, look at this, da, 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 and creating that relationship and building it, and then you're like, you know what? Let me help you write that book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more of a case of, I think it's not, when we were discussing on the last show, when Wendy and I just, hello, we'll be on.
That's an Angel and I went rogue.
Yeah, you went rogue. But it's like, I love what this person is doing. I love their message. I love their energy. How can we help make them shine? How can we take what they're doing and present it to my audience so that people know about this? Here's an opportunity for someone else as well as me. And when it's not just all about me, it becomes so much more of a beautiful exchange, and so much more abundance happens. And people need to know about Annie. Absolutely, they do.
We want to know. We absolutely do want to know more about Annie. I think one of the other pieces I want to emphasize before we get like a little more into each of your stories is how quickly this project came to fruition. When did you meet?
In April.
In April.
Middle of April, I think.
When was the book published?
The 1st of
August. The
What
1st
month
of
are we
August.
in?
July. So
90
April, May, June, July. From meeting, they
But that's the
met.
middle. Angel, it was the middle of April. So
Yeah,
it was like 90 days.
They had only met, had to build some rapport and have conversation, and then, oh, well, there should be a book in here. Oh, and let's start this book. Oh, and now let's finish this
And
book.
I can help you.
And from start to completion, right? Yeah, about 90 days, less than 4 months from when you guys met to this book was published. And now a best-selling author on multiple continents. It is now, an international, hot new release. And you guys are making, you both ladies are just a dynamic duo. So Annie, give us a little
Batman
bit
and
of
Robin.
your story and your background, and why is becoming Annie and the word curious was all over the first press release we ever wrote for you. Like, it was in everything.
Okay, so what is this word curious? Why? I mean, I know what it means, but
Yes, give us a little bit of.
Tell us why curious was the word.
Why curious? Curious because curiosity to me has been the way to just unravel what is potential, what is my best higher self, what am I capable of, what is fun in life, what will interest me, what will defy what other people think my potential is. It's kind of like I've always had this sort of rebellious streak, this interesting, quirky kind of personality that goes, well, what if I could? But then you also got society that conforms to the way things should be, and so I suppose my story is that, I got married at 20 and I had 2 sets of twins. I had twins at 23 and then another set of 25. And then I had my last bub at 32. And so in there in my teenage years, I'm like going, I want to be a businesswoman, and how, I would think I'd be really great at that. I've got high level managerial skills, that would work for me. And then all of a sudden your life changes in good ways, that I married the man of my dreams, and I had babies everywhere. And so that weird feeling of sitting there, I still remember sitting there at I was age 25 going, I thought I'd have all this potential, even though you love what you have, to actually have this, oh, wow, how am I going to pull a rabbit out of a hat now? That feeling that I think all women particularly have of, this is going to be a bit challenging because I have so many competing priorities, and I've got, everyone needs me. Everyone needs a bit of Annie, my kids need me, my husband needs me, I need me, but I'm a low priority because I've got so much to do. And so the curiosity was, well, what if I did an extra qualification? Or what if I still aspired to, to have a career that interests me? And so for me, it was all about making a difference. And I've done this weird journey, ladies, of going from being a nurse to then a national manager and doing a master's of education and then doing business. And now I'm CEO of Eye Health Charity. And then I also have my own business called Lipstick Consulting. And then I get to mentor and coach business women sort of achieve their next level. So, but it's been because of curiosity. If I didn't have a curious nature and imagine, how to do the seemingly impossible, right? I still get people all the time going, well, how did you do that around all your kids? It seems impossible. It seems ridiculous, and then you go, it's stepping stones of curiosity that have allowed opportunities, right? And the more you delve in, it's a bit like Dawn and I, we were just sharing that we met, and I met to do the podcast. I only finished that podcast today, and I've just popped it on, which is so weird that we went for one purpose, but that, sometimes you want to rush things. You go, oh, I want this done. But if you allow yourself to go on the journey, there was so much more to Dawn and I meeting, right? There was so much more to our potential because we were curious and we allowed ourselves to explore something. And so by doing that, now we've done this crazy journey to become best-selling authors and having this amazing book and being allowed to share my story. But also, we haven't rushed. We haven't made things that weren't in the right timing. Now suddenly, I've got an awesome podcast launching tomorrow on Memoirs of Successful Women of the amazing Dawn Bates and I having a chat. and of course, laughing a lot.
Laughing a lot. Well, congratulations. So I love the journey that you allowed the book to come out, even though the plan was to have the podcast. You were flexible, you were open and feeling the energy. And Dawn, I know these are the stories you like to write. Like, these are the kind of people that, you know, they've got these amazing stories, raw, real, triumphant. These are the stories you like to write. So, you know, how did you get this one? Like, what was it that made this one come out so quickly?
Well, people that know me, they tend to know that.
Dawn.
No, she did not stomp me. Like, I'm just processing, percolating. But yes, I think the thing is, I've had people approach me to write their books, and it's the attitude they come with it. I refused to write a guy's book once, and he was so offended. And I was just like, well, the reason why I don't want to write your book is because of the arrogance that you're bringing and the reason you want to do it. You're not doing it to serve others. You're not doing it to, you're just doing it for prestige. And that doesn't work for me. And people that know me, they know that, I mean, my second book, was it my second? Yeah, my second book was written in 7 days. After I'd researched Annie for, I think it was like, I mean, I went down the rabbit hole. This woman, I found stuff about her I don't think she even remembered. And it was like, oh my God. And so I ended up actually writing the book. Like, if you put the whole time together, maybe in, you know, like just a couple of weeks. And then we, you know, with the back and forth. And then with Moana, I wrote that in 6 days. And the thing is, when you're on purpose and you know who you are, who you want to represent, and the difference you make in the world, everything that you do, it just flows. I call it the unconscious conscious creation process, because you don't need to think about it, because it just, I mean, sometimes I write stuff and I mean, in the past, I've fallen asleep or I've woken up in the middle of the night and I've gone and like posted something. And then I've like gone onto Facebook or onto I'm going, why have I got all these notifications? And I've woken up in the middle of the night, written something, gone back to sleep, and I've not known anything about it. Or I've written stuff and I've gone, when did I write that?
Wow.
Because it's just natural. And I'm not expecting my author clients to, you know, write a book in 6 or 7 or 5 days, because they haven't been doing it as long as me. And, you know, their journeys are very different, because writing a book, especially the kind of books that I write and I coach my clients to write, or the books I publish, it's more of a healing experience and a personal transformational process, and being able to step out from behind the brand that we've built and stepping into the courage. And if I do this and I give myself permission to find out what it is that I'm really all about. I mean, for example, you might be this big, huge CEO of a company, but you have a passion for tango. So to expand your brand, you then write about your journey of becoming a tango dancer and all the things, you know, and you might be a big hotshot in your industry. You're an absolute beginner at tango and you might be falling over the place, you might face plant, but what is that journey and how can that inspire others, and what can we share along the way? And it really is about being raw and real and saying, you know what, you might see me as this, but I am just still human at the end of the day. And we are all people that have to go to the bathroom. So we have to remember that.
Well, there is that. There is that. Well, we have the powerhouses.
Being real like that and being authentic, because so many people that you know, like on Facebook, it's fake book. You only put this, you know, stuff that's going good in your life, but you don't put the bad things that are going on. You don't put the, you know, crying your eyes out in the middle of the night type of thing on there. You know what I mean? And so when people see that you are real and that you are authentic, and oh, she's going through that too, or he's going through that too, that's when they start to know that you are a human, that you are just like them, that you are relatable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It reminds me, I previously had a PR and VA lady when I was sailing across the Atlantic. I was booked into several podcasts, and I'm like, well, how the heck am I going to do that in the middle of the Atlantic? I mean, like, seriously? Like,
It's those sailing, world country type of things that you have to go through when you sail around the world.
You know.
You know,
it's
all
just
those people,
beautiful,
us
right?
people who, normally sail around the world.
Yeah. Well, anyway. But the thing is, I'm still finding people that said, oh, I didn't think you wanted to be on the podcast because you didn't show up for the interview. And I'm like, I didn't know anything about your interview. Or because I've had to rearrange the interview, they've kind of come to me. I've had several people now say, well, we just thought you were just, quite up yourself because, you're sailing around the world and you've rearranged the appointment and our interview is not important. I'm like, seriously, that is so not my vibe. Like, if that's the kind of and I think the thing is, people, when they see a title or they see where you've got to or the things that you're achieving, their expectation of that is so vastly different to the reality. A lot of the time, which is why I like to write these books like the Sacral series, 9 real life stories. Like, they break my heart. Like, they're really tough to write, but they're necessary to write.
Necessary. You are so brave. And I'll tell you, the time zone thing and the rearranging, I remember our first time the 3 of us were supposed to meet. It was a 6-hour difference between you, a 12-hour difference between us, and an 18-hour difference.
Like, what time zone am I in?
I'm like, I'm getting a text from Dawn. She's like, didn't we? I'm like, was that now? Shoot. I'm like, oh man, I like the times, like the I'm like, all right. So I felt so badly because the time zone thing just messed me up in trying to figure out.
Time zones mess her up in the United States, let alone putting the international stuff in there.
it is my Achilles heel. So, all right. Well, Annie, tell us a little bit about your background and who you are and the fabulous
how you became Annie.
Yes.
How I became Annie. Okay. So, well, Annie is, for becoming me is a journey into understanding, myself, who I am, what I'm passionate about, and my whole ethos of, who do I want to become in a way of, leaving a legacy or sharing with others and so forth. So it's so the whole unpacking of me is looking deeply into who I was as that little girl, who was little Annie and what was she passionate about and what did she sort of aspire to greatness, what areas were exciting to her. And so besides that curiosity, what were my natural, talents and raw edginess, I suppose. And so with that, then, my inner self and the easy version would be that little Annie had a lot of excitement and enthusiasm about things that she could do and make and create and manage and then be one day a very successful businesswoman who goes, yes, see, I created all this amazing stuff and I'm very competent and capable and, and all of that. But then my actual, reality was that, I did suffer some significant traumas in my life that then sort of held me back and made me feel, conscious about, what I could actually achieve and what would that look like. And then navigating that to then I got married early and I had my 4 kids in 2 years. And then navigating then three different degrees. So I did nursing and then I did education and then business. And then, juggling, becoming Annie around 5 kids, husband, busy life while doing stepping stones to then be a businesswoman, So yes, the becoming Annie story is that, yes, you can do it all, but you probably won't do it in the way that you map out And that's actually okay. You know, I think a lot of my biggest struggles have been because it should have been done in a certain way. I remember so many times going, if I was a man and I didn't have 5 children, I could have just finished school and
And I
done
had a wife who took care of
and I
me.
had a wife. Who wouldn't want a wife, right? Like one of those gorgeous women who just did all this stuff for you, because, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And I think often, you know, becoming me was actually realizing, yeah, like not many people have this distorted view of reality, right? It's not real, you know, and there might be a few people who are like that, and that's their journey and their walk, but like, don't stop. I think becoming my reality was to become me was to go, stop looking at what other people want or expect or look like, because it's actually not real to you and it's not necessary to me. One isn't, it's not real, and also it's not me. You know, my gift was when I actually then realized that, yeah, I'm enough on my own. My situation, whatever that is my situation. And it's better if I actually just enjoy that and go on that journey and then focus on then knowing and loving this self of who Annie is, and then navigating and being curious and following that. And so that's been the best, most refreshing thing, because it has been hard. You know, the reality is juggling uni at night around kids and, you know, just breastfeeding like 4 babies in such a short period of time, and having two-year-old twin boys like going feral in the house while you're feeding new babies and things like that. You know, like the reality is juggling it all is really hard, but it's also really funny because life's funny, right? So it's all mindset and perspective. And yeah, so my story of becoming Annie is that, yeah, all things are possible, but don't get too bogged down on the detail and the timing, but become really true to the purpose, your purpose and your core and your heart. And so I'd say now at this stage of my life, I'm exactly where I should be, right? My inner young Annie said, you want to be competent and capable and being able to give out and leave a legacy that's of value to who you are and the world that I will leave. And then now through this crazy journey of like totally non-textbook in every single way, that's exactly what I do. Because of this crazy journey, I get to empower and coach business all around the globe in their own way. And I have so many nutty stories of real life that I totally relate, you know. So in one way, I'm like Dawn I get people going, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you because I'm a CEO and all this sort of stuff. And then they go, oh my gosh, you're really relatable and you're really nice. And that's really refreshing. And I'm like, wow, women, we got to be more refreshing, right? We got to connect and empower, because that's what I wanted all my whole life, was to go, oh, I dreamed of having a sister or a role model that would empower me, or to go, this is all right, keep going, sister. And so that's my whole ethos in life now, is empowering others and using my journey to then do that, like the same way as other women will use their journey, you know, and that it's all right. It's all what it should be.
I love that, because everybody needs that hand up, right? You know, when you're going through that dark time in your life, you always need that hand up. And then when you get to that space, you can be that hand up.
Yes, exactly.
And we all
role models for
we all
someone.
need a mentor. We all need that person who can say, you know what, I believe in you. Right now, you don't believe in yourself, but I believe in you.
Oh, there's so much value in that. There's so much, and we don't realize, you know, you can become complacent while you're constantly, you know, looking in or striving to achieve. You know, the words we say or the time we give out or the little bits of encouragement are so significant. You know, I look back at different stages of my life and I remember key things that people said to me at the right moment, or that they were there when others weren't. And those things are so valuable, so important. You know, they can change someone's life, you know.
Yeah, they really can. And you find out who your true friends are when you're going through those dark times.
Oh, don't you?
Oh, yes. And definitely by writing a biography.
That's not how it happened.
Yeah, that's right. But that's not the truth. You go, well, it's my life.
Yeah.
That's very brave. You know, a lot of the books that you know we work with are business books. So, you know, they're safe, right? It's about marketing. It's about customer service. It's about, you know, growing your brand.
They're not telling you this is not true.
But you telling your story, your memoirs, there's people involved, right? There's family, there's friends, there's neighbors. And so being very, very brave to put that in print. Did you ever have a time, Annie, where you're like, no, this is too much?
Yes, probably
Every day.
20 years of thinking about it before I met Dawn. And then she ripped that Band-Aid off me. So yeah, because it is really brave. It's such a raw thing to be naked, you know, pretty much making myself naked in front of the world of like, okay, well, there's nothing hidden, you know, whether you like it or not, this is my story.
Yeah.
And actually being okay to own that. And, you know, and even if someone doesn't like something or is hurt by something or is embarrassed by something or whatever, then it's done. So in one way, it's done. There is nothing else. So it's really quite freeing and empowering and like, okay, get over it. Isn't this actually great now? Because we, you know, we don't have any barriers.
Yeah, like it's
The
your
other bit is they, you know, their
it's
response.
all out there in the open, right? It's all out there. I remember I have two sisters and a brother, but all four of us can talk about a memory that we're like, when did that happen? And you know, you're like, no, it happened this way, and they're like, no, it happened this way, and the other one's like, no, it happened this way.
I know.
You
and
know, everybody has their own story of how they interpreted what happened. And so just like with your book, that's your story. That's how you grew up, what happened with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll even get someone go, oh, that didn't happen over 3 days. That happened over 10 hours or something. And I'm like, I don't care. To me, it was 3 days. Like, does it even matter? Like, so, no, but they get really stuck on, but that's not correct. And you kind of go,
you need to rewrite this book.
We're all subjective, you know, everyone goes, well, it might feel like it, that was my truth, you know. And so, you know, some bits you go, don't get bogged down on the detail, you know, like just be, you know, that be okay with the journey. I remember when I was nursing and you get an accident, you know, come in through casualty, and then you'll get eyewitnesses on something. And I mean, 10 people can see something right in front of their eyes.
There are 10 different stories.
Yeah. And someone said a blue car hit them and another one said a red car hit them. And I'm like going, well, who was there? You know, like, it's amazing, right? So we'll always see with our own prism and perspective based on so many variables. Yeah. And so I think at the end of the day, particularly when you do a biography, and that's why I love the fact that Dawn did a biography rather than me writing an autobiography, because I have this incredible desire for truth to be sort of as accurate as possible. And so having her suddenly stalk my life and then interview people who knew me at all these different stages of my life and whatever, then I go, okay, well, it is as holistically accurate as it can be, rather than me just going, well, that's my story, that's the way it is. It's kind of like going, well, I had to put myself out to go, okay, well, check with them. You ask them, you ask them, you ask them. And that gives a lot more of a global sort of 360 view and authenticity to it, and that's a brave thing to do, going, I hope they see me the way I do. I think I'm really nice, you know. And Dawn's like, oh yes, they agreed. That's good. But if they don't, it's okay. You put it in the book. It's got to be real.
Annie, I love your background. Are you like in a castle?
No, I know.
Like, look at
my house is made like a
castle.
I know. I mean, it's a sandstone house, and it's seriously quarried off the land like 100 years ago. So we have this raw, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But it is lovely.
I love it.
It does look like a castle. So the story or the book is Becoming Annie. Where do we want people to go and buy the book?
We want to go to Dawn Bates.
There are multiple options.
Of course, it's on every platform. So yes, you can go to Amazon and just, you know, type in Becoming Annie, the biography of a curious woman. But if you want to sort of, you know, look at all the platforms, go to Dawn Bates /Annie Gibbins with an INS, and you'll be able to then see all the different platforms, or just Google Becoming Annie and it will come up. It's a beautiful.
Who's your favourite platform?
in my
You
favorite.
can even
I love.
walk into a shop when they're open and say, "Can I have this book?"
I have it because I have it on all the
love
platforms.
the book cover.
I love that picture. It just totally captures you.
Really funny, and that was a journey in itself, because this one was an off-cut picture that I went off, a year or so, two ago, and got some corporate photos, and then that was like, oh, you're having too much fun, so it kind of got ditched. And then when Dawn was saying, you're always laughing and you're high energy, and have you got these other photos? And I'm like going, well, this is a little old random one, and it's like, yeah, it totally actually encapsulates that, looking at what's next.
It's that curiosity, like
absolutely.
It is a curiosity photo.
Yeah, it totally captures you. So Donna, I want to be able to get a little bit of your story or background, because we all know what it's like to travel around in a sailboat around the world.
Sail around the world.
But before we do, I want to just mention our sponsors very quickly, because they are they're so good, right? They're so amazing.
They're so good.
And I'm looking for my photo. Sorry, I had it pulled up, but when I did the share screen, it didn't want to pull it up. So let me try one more time. There it is. Second time's the charm. So this is, I want to say welcome to, or thank you to our guests today. You make the Angel and Tina Morning Show so special. Annie and Dawn being here, sharing life, unscripted, being the bright start to our day. We want to say thank you. The show is also brought to you by our fabulous sponsors, the Zandra TV network, where we are globally and digitally syndicated across multiple digital platforms. Just like Dawn was saying, you can buy Annie's book on all the platforms. We talk about distribution. You want to be everywhere that your consumers and those eyeballs are. And the big D is distribution, which we get with the Zandra TV network. You can schedule your own complimentary call to see if you've got enough content with your podcast and your stories to create your own show, your own TV show. Schedule that at beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com. Bliss by the Lake, our clothing sponsor. Follow them on social media. And then, of course, if you've got too much on your to-do list that you can ever get done by yourself, and he's been putting out all these incredible videos of all these great things that you could be delegating so that you get to stay in your lane, go to sonicva.com and hire your own virtual assistant or a team of virtual assistants. When you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, you're going to get a 10% discount off your first 40 hours of service. Go to sonicva.com, sonicva.com. And we changed our graphics so that it's not covered up by the Zoom logo anymore. So Zandra TV, Bliss by the Lake, and Sonic VA.
It looks like Zoom is right there.
Now it looks like it, right? So if you visit with them or you follow them on social media, tell them you heard about them on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, or at least thank them for sponsoring the Angel and Tina Morning Show. That would mean so much to us and to them. All right, Miss Dawn, you've got to tell, who are you?
Tell us how you just sail around the world, because, all of us don't know how that is.
I'm jealous.
We are.
We do want to live vicariously through it. It just seems like a fantasy world that you live in.
Yeah, apparently all I do is faff around on boats drinking gin and tonic all day, and I'm like, I'll swap one of my days for yours if you want. And they're like, no. Yeah, no, it's I guess it depends on how you know me and how long you've known me as to who I am. I'm just Dawn. Simple and as straightforward as that. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, Annie said that you wanted the truth, in her book. I am not going to tell you what you want to hear. I mean, I had this whole thing. If you want sugarcoat and stuff, you go to a bakery, because you ain't going to get that with me. I will tell you exactly how it sits and exactly how I feel. Don't ask me for my opinion if you only want to hear what you want to hear, because that's not going to happen. And
Annie's over there going, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. and this is the thing. I mean, some people don't like it, not my problem. I am not gonna I don't want it. I only want the people in my space. I'm very choosy about who is in my space. And it's like all these people over the years have said, oh, you need to have this many tens of thousands of followers. And I'm like, why do I? Why do I need that many? If the people in my space, I do have a quote. I don't know if it's Tina and Angel morning show material. So we'll yes, I have a dirty mind as well. So I own that. You know, I was doing a podcast on Sunday night with a guy in New Zealand, and he said something. That was it. I was gone. I couldn't even breathe. I was laughing so much. My mind went elsewhere, you know, but I own that about myself, you know, and I'm not gonna, and I was having this conversation with a lady who was saying, you know, I mean, I do swear, and I know that's not very, you know, a lot of people can't handle that. But when we're living in a society where more people are offended by swearing than they are negative mindset or negative language, or limiting beliefs, or they're more offended by swearing than they are some of the problems that are going on in the world, I am political. I am a game changer. I will tell you how I see things, and I will challenge you. But I'm also I'm a giggler. Like, honestly, I slide. I slide up and down my apartment in my socks, having the best time ever. I dance every single day, even if I'm just wiggling it when I'm cooking and nearly cutting my hand off like I did yesterday. I was like, yeah, this is a great tune, and then I nearly chopped the end of my fingers off. I was like, okay, let's not do that.
Yeah, you should not be giggling while you're chopping or wiggling.
Why not? Who made that rule up? Smart people don't follow stupid rules, Angel.
You're gonna chop your finger off, woman. You need those fingers to type. That's your livelihood.
Yeah. Can you imagine me without fingers?
Looking at her in the window, just like, what is she doing?
Yeah, they nearly did. No, we discussed that on the last show.
Got this knife, and she's just like dancing, and she's like, oh, there goes my hair. Oh, there goes my ear.
I'd be a Van Gogh then. I'd make a lot more money. But again, it's like, I'm really playful, but I'm also really cheeky, and I'm really passionate. And they're my 3 words. Everything I do, I'm passionate about. I want to do the best that I can be. You know, I want to be the very best version of myself, because I've got 2 children who are watching me. I've got 3 beautiful nieces and a rascal of a nephew who I absolutely adore. And he's a bit more of a rascal because of his eye door than he's not. And it's like, yeah, go do that, Leon. Yeah, go do that. And like, my sister just looks at me and she's like,
she makes him do more things. She's like, go do it.
Go do it.
Yeah, but you know, life doesn't change unless you're an activist. Life doesn't get better unless we have activists. Everything that we have in our life right now is due to an activist. Whether that is someone who said, actually, this is not good. We need the people in life to say, this is not good enough, or this is a no. And it's all, yes, it's all good saying hell yes all the time. But no is a complete sentence. And I don't have to answer anything other than no if it doesn't feel right for me or it's not aligned for me. So, you know, yes, I sail. But I didn't start sailing because I wanted to sail around the world. I started sailing because I wanted to live at sea, and I'm not able to walk on water yet. I do practice.
Practice walking on water?
Yeah, it's called diving into the middle of the Atlantic when you're on a big ship and going, let's go swimming.
It hasn't worked yet, huh?
Sorry?
I said it hasn't worked yet, huh? You walking on water?
No, good, because then I get to go swimming. Like, and if I walk on water, I can't go swimming.
She is our mermaid.
She is our mermaid, and you know, I mean, when you're looking for you know the crisis that has you know put the whole world in shackles, there's been some incredible silver linings and opportunities that have come out of it.
I've been preparing for COVID my whole life. What are you on about? It's been great.
You being stranded on this island, or you know, on this continent that you were not planning to be on.
No.
The projects that you've been able to work on, and how it's opened up so many doors for meeting. This introduction may or may not have happened if if we were all just going about and doing what we're always doing and the way
She was
we've always
just
done
sailing
it.
around the
Oh
world.
no, me and Annie were meant to meet. Seriously, like you don't get this connection. Like, and this is the thing. I actually made a joke about it because I say I manifested the whole quarantine thing. Sorry, everybody, but you know, I had stuff to get done and I had stuff to achieve, and you've all got to run with my program. You know, and I will own that. I am playful with that. You know, it's not from a place of arrogance. It is, I know what I want. And my friends have, like, the ones who've known me for like a long time. I mean, my friend Jamie, I mean, she's known me since I was 11, and she will, and Mummy Sandra, her mum, you know, what Dawny wants, Dawny gets, because I'm so focused and I don't allow, and I've learned to be a bit more specific. For example, when I was in New Zealand, I was like, oh, it'd be really great to have a really, you know, to have a guy sing to me, you know, and then like, you know, just. And then I ended up with this guy who I really didn't want singing to me, singing my favorite songs. And I was like, okay, need to get a bit more specific.
More specific, right? Yes, got to get more specific.
Definitely more specific. That was just not going to happen. Sorry, I've just had another thought. Shut up, Tina. But the thing is, it's like, if you're not playing every day, and you're not, I mean, I don't do stuck, I don't do stranded, is the word that you've just used. I can only control myself and what's going on in my environment. And if I'm going to worry about what's going on in the outside world, then that's a distraction that I don't need. I don't know when my last day on earth is going to be. Every day is judgment day. Every day. You know, and it's like, how have I shown up as my best self today? How have I been? Have I served humanity? Have I made the world a better place today? Have I fueled my body properly? Have I made someone smile? Because for me, if you can make someone smile during the day, then it's worth waking up. You know, and making yourself smile first off. You know, because you know, I have this phrase, when we gift ourselves permission to give ourselves permission to have permission, then everything is possible. And it's like Annie, now that she's released what she's released in this book, that space that it was taking up inside of her is now, you know, she's now got this new space to fill that with even more juicy stuff and more amazing opportunities. And this is why when we write biographies and autobiographies, we actually are able to share and release stuff to actually receive more. But we're gifting other people that, I mean, I still get messages about a book I wrote 10 years ago, and they still make me cry. Because women or people are saying, you know, I've read your book, I'm implementing everything you said, like your business techniques, because yeah, my books are biographies, autobiographies, memoirs, but in them there are steps on how I started all of my businesses, how I did all the cultural diversity work, how I started in media. I mean, I've been publishing for 22 years. I've been in the media for 22 years. I've been looking at, you know, race relations and cultural diversity and leadership. This is my bag, but some people will only see Dawn as this giggle bot that comes up and says, I really should not dance in the shower because I just nearly face planted again, but this music was so great. They really should make tiles for showers non-slip compulsory.
For those people,
yes,
for those people who dance in the showers.
Everyone should dance in the shower.
They should have non-slip tile, right?
And a disco ball with a laser ball.
And coffee pots that don't get coffee stains. Like, who made coffee pots out of stainable material, from coffee stainable material? I'm like, whose stupid idea was this?
It's like push chairs. A friend of mine had a baby, like when I went back to the UK on my last visit, and she was like, oh, I'm going to the hospital. Can you look after my children for a bit? And I'm like, okay. My boys are like 18 and 14 in like a few months. Her youngest was like a few months old, and she had a 2-year-old, and I'm like,
And she says, can you just watch him for a few days, a few hours?
And like a few hours she had to get, and her pushchair didn't even have a coffee holder. I'm like, well, what the hell's that? Obviously, a man designed it. No offense, guys. But what is the point of having a pushchair that does not have a hole for your coffee? Seriously.
Ladies, we're going to change the world. Like somebody just, when we ask better questions, we get better answers. And
well, you know what we say in the House of Preeminence, which, you know, is the new O magazine and the Vogue of Feminine High Performance, which you can subscribe to at jenny-p.com/magazine. And that's Jenny with an I, not a Y. We say like we have something in there every single month, every single issue. Annie's in there this month. To herself. We like the Dalai Lama says the world will be changed by the Western woman. Now, if the Dalai says it, I mean, who are we to argue? I mean, I know it's one opinion and 6.9 billion are in the world, as are everybody else's opinions, but it's quite a cool one, and I'm kind of owning that. But it's when we challenge things, again, it comes back to the activism, speaking our truth. This doesn't work for me. I don't like the way you make me feel. I'm leaving you. I don't want your negativity in my space. The party test. If you're going to invite someone to a party, then this is what I do regularly. I do this on a monthly basis. I check the people in my space. If I invited you to a party and I received a yes, how does that make me feel? Is it a yes, they're coming, or is it, oh no, they said yes? If it's that, oh no, they said yes, it's either time to put distance or put the delete button into action. Or it's time to heal that relationship, depending on how much you do like them.
Yeah.
Oh, I looked up this this quote about the Dalai Lama. It says that the world will be saved by the Western woman, not any women, perhaps not all women, but burning women who have stepped out of silence into the fullness of their power.
Well, there you go. Just says it all, really, doesn't it?
Girls, we're here for the future of the
Go,
world.
Annie.
Yes.
Start by creating coffee pots that don't stain.
Absolutely. Orion biographies and autobiographies.
Not flip tower and showers and tubs, right?
Yeah.
By saying it, stopping and saying that there's better, you know, never stop saying that we can do better, you know, whether it's coffee cups in pushchairs or whatever it is. It's actually sort of having the confidence and the self-empowerment to go, no, it's not good enough, or that,
and the curiosity, right?
Okay.
Curiosity, absolutely.
Curiosity.
Because when we get curious, other people get curious.
Yeah.
Like Annie's written this book. How did you do that? Her curiosity has led other people to say to her, how did you do that? And it's like, well, I got curious. Now you're curious. And you're it.
Oh my gosh. And then that's right. And then you, by doing that, by empowering someone else to be curious and having your truth, then suddenly their mind is going, oh, what could I do? What could I do? And now I've got other people enrolled back in university and going for those next jobs and doing those things because someone's story went and said being curious is a good thing. You know, backing yourself is a good thing. Saying no to naysayers is a good thing. Not allowing anchors to weigh you down, all of that negative energy. When we're trying to be good people and nice people, what does that actually mean? If it actually is just cutting off your oxygen and allowing you not to be who you were born on this planet to be, then that's right. You should be saying what Dawn's just said, yeah, like, why are you allowing that to fill your space? We've all got so much capacity. And so when we release that, you know, remove the negative of that, what doesn't take us into our future, then you've got a lot more space and time and energy to be curious and to enjoy the future self, right? Because we're all becoming to the day we die, whenever that is. And so we've got to allow room to grow. We've got to have room to move, and then we've got to, our focus is forward into this future amazing opportunity with whatever that is, as opposed to looking backwards and trying to be putting out fires and having things hold us.
Unless you're doing it naked, Annie, like you did.
Well, that's right. I am known for naked.
And if you want to know more about that story, you have to read the book. But there we go.
Just a little plug.
I know, right? Yeah.
Well, show us the book one more time, Annie.
This is the book, and it's
This is what you want to look for. Of course.
Becoming Annie, the biography of a curious woman, and I think we should all be curious.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and I think you will go when you read this book. You'll hear my narrative, but it will awaken so many parts of yourself. That all of those different hats that we wear. It's like, where am I in on that journey? What roles do I have? What choices am I making? Are they the right choices? Are they someone else's choices, or am I on my path? Do I know my purpose? Am I backing myself at times that matters? All of these things will awaken in yourself when you read this book, because that's the fruit of what I've already been receiving in reviews. It's like, oh my gosh, it's almost like a confessional, right? Because I've poured out my heart. I feel like a little priestess at the, someone go, oh my gosh, and this has been my journey. I'm like, wow, and that, but they also need to let it out. There's a massive need to not overshare, but just to release, and then it's the let go, and then go, oh, so glad I've done that, because then that's what people like, are wanting, and I'll get that all the time, and I'm sure you two ladies do as well, of, you're so refreshing, you're so positive, how do you get all this energy? Yeah, because I'm not carrying around sacks of friggin' potatoes and things.
Concrete boots.
Yeah, right. It's exhausting, and there's so many people who are exhausted because of what
the truth weighs them down.
Their reality, or what they've accepted as,
or what they're carrying, right? Because they're not sharing it. They're not talking about some of these issues and able to release them.
Yeah.
And the shame and all of that. Well, ladies, superstars. Absolute superstars. One of the things I think we should name this week Girl Crush Week.
Right?
Tina.
Girl fanning all week.
Yes. And as women, we need to crush on each other just a little bit more.
Well, today is Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday.
Nice.
Hey, that's now a thing. That's now in the International Diary, Women's Crush Wednesday, 16th of September, 2020.
There we go. There we go. But crush on each other. You talked about this, Annie, being approachable and having this conversation, and not having the barriers to support and lift up and rise. But let's love on each other. Let's go and buy a dozen copies of Becoming Annie today and pass them out to all your favorite girlfriends, because we can all be curious, because we are women burning with desire and not going to sit back in silence. We are going to go out and change the world. And I just think that is
one coffee pot at a time.
One coffee pot at a time. Yes, it's why I won't buy the white plasticky coffee pot, because it's coffee stains. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. So ladies, thank you. Thank you so much for being with us today. Make sure that after the show, you go on to social media, put all of your links for the House of Preeminence magazine, how people can connect with you, how they can perhaps be a guest on your podcast, Annie, how they can get their story out into the world, Dawn, and all the fun, juicy things that you guys are doing. But truly, one of the best things you can do today is to go and to support these lovely ladies and grab a copy or a dozen of the book, Becoming Annie, and then let them know, right? Let them know how supportive you are being to this tribe. The power of association, truly alive and well here on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. I'm Angel Tussey, your media matchmaker. You are looking for exposure. You've got a story that if you could get it on more platforms, it could change the world. You can get started with your complimentary media starter kit at makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. And we do have our Media Mastery Bootcamp coming up next Saturday. If you want a really juicy discount ticket to attend the Media Mastery Bootcamp, text the word ANGEL, ANGEL. That's the word ANGEL to the number 26786. That's ANGEL to 26786. And I'm going to send you a really juicy discount to attend the Media Mastery Bootcamp on Saturday, September 26th.
I am Tina Torres, your client retention expert, otherwise known as the Gratitude Specialist. And if you are struggling with building your audience, finding the right clients, or even retaining those clients that you already have, I have a complimentary guide that will grow your audience organically, online and offline, connect and nurture those relationships authentically, and then take those relationships and turn them into paid clients. And you can grab that guide if you text the word connection to 26786. That is the word connection to 26786. I have been fangirling all week long. I think we have all women this week on our show, so that is good. This is Women Crush Wednesday. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, and we are so grateful to have you as our audience members and our loyal fans. We hope we brought a bright start to your day. We will see you guys tomorrow. We come live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Have a fabulous day, guys.
Bye.
Hey.